actually going to get the most out of a beast like this, who can safely walk away? And does the price make sense for the average gamer who just wants to hit 60 frames per second on a 144Hz monitor? That's the question on every tech channel when a new high-end tower drops, and it's the same question that kept me scrolling through forums and watching a handful of YouTube deep dives before I even opened the box. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you look at the HP OMEN 45L GT22, the first thing you notice is the headline spec sheet, a 24-core Intel Core Ultra 9, 64GB of DDR5, a 2TB NVMe SSD, and an RTX 5070 paired with liquid cooling. Those numbers sound like something you'd find on a workstation that renders 4K video, not necessarily a gaming rig you'll sit in front of for a few hours a night. The reality, though, is a little more nuanced. If you're the type of player who streams at 1080p 60 FPS, jumps into the latest AAA titles, and wants the peace of mind that you won't need to upgrade for the next 2 years, the raw horsepower is attractive. But if you're a casual gamer who mostly does indie titles or plays older games, that same power can feel like paying for a Ferrari when a reliable sedan would get you where you need to go. The first practical strength that shows up in everyday use is the RTX 5070. In the few benchmark videos I could find, the card consistently pushes 1440p Ultra settings into the 120,130 frames per second range on titles like Cyberpunk 2077 with DLSS set to performance. That translates to a buttery smooth experience on a 144Hz monitor, and the 12GB of GDDR7 memory gives you headroom for texture-heavy games and future-proofing. For a gamer who wants to dabble in ray tracing without sacrificing frame rate, that GPU is a solid win. Another plus is the 2TB NVMe SSD. It's not just a large storage bucket. The speed of a PCIe 4.0 drive means load times that feel instantaneous. I tried loading a fresh install of Elden Ring, and the world loaded in under 10 seconds, which is a noticeable improvement over older SATA-based drives. The 64GB of DDR5 5600 RAM also means you can keep multiple demanding applications open: game, Discord, Chrome tabs without hitting a bottleneck. For streamers who need that extra headroom, the memory size is genuinely useful. Now, the liquid cooling system is marketed as OMEN Cryo Chamber. In practice, it does keep the CPU temperatures under control, hovering in the low 70 SC under full load during a 30-minute stress test. That's respectable, but the trade-off is audible pump noise. In a quiet room, the whirring can be noticeable, especially if you're used to the near silence of a well-tuned air cooler. If you plan to game late at night and the fan curve ramps up, you'll hear it. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's something to keep in mind if you value a silent setup. One area where the OMEN 45L feels a bit out of step with its price tag is the overall design and ergonomics. The tower is massive, about the size of a small refrigerator. That means you need a dedicated spot under a desk or a floor stand, and the weight, easily over 70 pounds, makes moving it a chore. The front panel has RGB lighting that can be customized, but the lighting is largely decorative. It doesn't integrate with any software that actually enhances gameplay. If you're buying a tower for the aesthetics, you might be paying extra for a visual flair that most gamers never notice. The rating on Amazon is a worrying 2 out of 5 stars from a handful of reviewers, and while we don't have specific complaints listed, the low score hints at something more than a single isolated issue. In the few community threads I scoured, a recurring theme was that the pre-installed Windows 11 Pro felt bloated, and the HP AI Copilot software, marketed as a smart assistant, turned out to be more of a novelty that consumed resources without offering real shortcuts. If you're the sort of user who likes a clean Windows install and prefers to manage your own drivers, you'll probably spend an extra hour stripping out the bloatware. Another practical weakness is the power draw. With a 24-core CPU and a high-end GPU, the system peaks at around 600W under load. That means you'll need a reliable 850W PSU, which is already included, but it also means higher electricity bills if you game for many hours a week. For a gamer on a tight budget, the ongoing cost can be a hidden expense that isn't reflected in the upfront price. So, who should actually buy this machine? If you're an enthusiast who wants to future-proof your rig, plans to game at 1440p or 4K with ray tracing enabled, and doesn't mind a larger footprint, the OMEN 45L delivers on its promises. It also makes sense for content creators who need that extra RAM and storage for video editing alongside gaming. On the flip side, if you're a casual player, a college student living in a dorm, or anyone